Turkey are on the verge of qualifying for their first World Cup since 2004. They beat Romania today 1-0 in Istanbul and Besiktas' stadium. We're so excited. Me and Serkan have been to one game with Millie Takum. That was this past summer in North Carolina. They lost to Mexico. That's okay. It didn't count. It was a friendly game, as they say. So
Was in
Serkan,
June, right?
what a that was in June. What a dominating, semi-frustrating performance.
We made it. Before the game started, we were the favorites in this match, but we just couldn't break that defensive wall, defensive line in the first half. But we turned the game quickly in the second half with a beautiful pass from Arda and a great first touch from Ferdi. Now we're focusing on the next game.
I know we're a Galatasaray channel. We had 3 Galatasaray people playing. We had Barış, Abdülkerim, Nurcan. Barış played really well. The thing that scares me about Barış playing striker for Galatasaray is what the commentator said in America. They go, Turkey's going to need more quality, and Barış just unleashed a terrible pass. They're going to need more quality than that.
That is right.
So again, he's fast, but can he finish? That's okay. Okan still has 9 days to figure that out before we play Trabzonspor. I heard a fun bit of trivia in this game. Turkey's first ever national team game as a country back in 1923 was against Romania. It was a 2-2 draw. So that's kind of cool. So
That's cool.
yeah, I'll tell a quick story. So my first ever trip to Turkey was in 2000, right? Spring of 2000. And then I find Galatasaray, I get my Hasan Şaş jersey. Then all of a sudden, it's World Cup time in 2002. And so I see the World Cup team, and it's Galatasaray plus Rustu, right? Basically. And so Turkey blows to the tournament. They get screwed against Brazil with that Rivaldo penalty. He was outside the box. If we'd had VAR, they'd have won that game and went to the final. They finished third. You know, Hakan, the fastest goal ever. And so new fan Brad, right? I've only known the country for a year and a half at this point. I'm guessing Turkey must go to the World Cup all the time. They must be like Brazil and Germany and Spain. Little did I know that was the first World Cup they'd been to in like 50 years.
It has been
And that was
like 24
when I watched,
years.
yeah, and when I watched them in that World Cup, little did I know I would not see them in the World Cup again. I was thinking I hit the lottery. I got a beautiful wife. I found this great country. Galatasaray's European champions. The national teams like kick butt all the time. 3 of those were right.
Yeah, one of them was wrong.
But then was it 2004? Was it the 2000? No, it was the 2008 Euros. Turkey's so
Yes.
good. And I'm thinking we're back. Surely we'll qualify for the next World Cup. No, we did not. We did not. And so we got this win. This was huge. We'll now play the winner of Slovakia and Kosovo. Now, I'm not really schooled on how this seeding works. I know we're the highest ranked of all these teams. We were 25th, 3rd, 4th, or 5th, somewhere in there. And Romania was like 48th, 49th. And I know we're ranked
One
higher
of
than
the reasons
Slovakia and
why we
Kosovo.
played this game at home.
Right. But what I can't figure out is even though we're the highest ranked, we've now got to go to the winner of Slovakia and Kosovo. And why would the 25th ranked team in the world be going, let's say, to Kosovo? That just doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, but it is what it is.
Usually they don't. Usually they want the more dominating teams in the World Cup. If you asked them and they were honest with you, and you say, who would you rather have make the World Cup, Kosovo or Turkey? They're going to say Turkey because we're going to put on the better show. Now, we won, but Lord, in the 77th minute, Romania had a ball come in the box, and they whipped that puppy off of the bar. And my heart about stopped.
That was a
There was a
moment that I
second
want to
chance.
forget.
There was a second chance. That chance was offside. But the first chance was not offside. That would have been the tying goal,
Did
and that
Uğurcan
would have been
touch that
bad.
ball? Did he save the
He did
ball?
not.
He did
No,
not?
it just hit off the
Okay.
post.
So what do you think
So yeah,
about
that
Lucescu? He's 80 years old and he's still coaching.
I think he's like 120, dude. He's coached the Turkish national team. He's coached Galatasaray. He's coached Besiktas. He should be an honorary Turk, I think. And now he's coaching. I think he's done. They even talked about during the game how old he would be the next time the World Cup cycle runs around. But God bless him. He loves coaching. He's still doing it.
But
Um,
what do you think about his defensive approach?
I think it was
Because
smart. If you're going on
his
the if you're
success
going on the
his
road,
success at Galatasaray and Beşiktaş largely came from this defensive approach. That's what I wanted to say.
yeah.
He's
Well,
a
yeah. I
master
mean,
of
especially
this
with this team.
strategy. Even though he's 80, he's still the master of this strategy. I mean, you see that his teams try to slow the game down so that they can avoid high tempo. They prefer a controlled patient style of play, and that's understandable. Romania is built mostly on average level players, so you cannot easily point to individuals or players at the level of Kenan, Barış, Arda. So this defensive mindset, or whatever that you call it, fits them well.
Well, yeah. Their problem is our problem. They couldn't score, and we don't talk about the national team a lot on the channel because we're not a national team channel. But God, if this team had Barack Yilmaz, even Cenk Tosun, it's a calamity that Turkey, we've got wingers for days. In every country, we've got wingers. Used to we had forwards and we couldn't get the wingers. We didn't have the winger to get the forward the ball. Now we have the wingers and no forward. If only we could produce a striker. If there's a striker hiding somewhere in Germany or the Netherlands or somewhere,
It's not
if
it's not
Osimhen would
only
want to,
Turkey. The whole world is suffering from the lack of strikers. And
we're
we're so
striker poor.
fortunate, as Galatasaray, we're so fortunate to have two strikers, two world-class strikers. That's what I was thinking in the game.
Do we have two world class strikers?
We do?
Okay. We're about to just have
You
one.
don't agree?
You don't agree. I don't think you believe what you're saying.
Icardi is a world-class striker.
He was a world class striker here. He's a world class striker in theory only, because if you're not playing, we can't prove you're a world class striker. And so maybe we'll find out if he still is. Maybe so. Maybe so. We wanted to just take time with this international break to come in and talk about the national team. We did have 3 Galatasaray players start. Yunus was warming up, but he didn't come in. I'm kind of glad. Yunus has never got fully fit. And so while he's going on national team duty, I'm not really sure if he's not a fully fit player. It'd be nice to keep him at home and rest. So they didn't need
Maybe
him.
we're
They
saving
won.
him
So
for the second game.
maybe so. Maybe so. And who knows? Slovakia and Kosovo is about to start. I guess I'll watch that to kind of see if they're any good or not. You know how much I know about Slovakia and Kosovo? That much.
Yep, same here.
0. 0, baby.
Same here.
0. One more fun stat about Romania. Haji, our old striker's son, plays for Romania, but he was born in Istanbul. So is Turkey like America? If you're born in Turkey, does that make you a Turk? Like, is it
I don't
birthright
think so.
citizenship?
No, you don't get that automatically. I don't believe so.
Okay. I didn't know if Haji would have had a choice of where he wanted to play since he was born in Turkey. But I thought that was a pretty cool connection, too, that Romania had one of our former great players' sons who was He's playing against the country he was born in. So that's
And he
kind of
was
neat
the
too.
captain of
That's what's
that
fun
team.
about he was. That's what's fun about international football. Right? Players going there and players moving there, all that kind of stuff. So good job, Turkey. Keep it up. We're one game away. That game's going to be on Tuesday. So that's good. Win that game. You're in the World Cup. And then that'll give our players Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Give them 4 days off before they play against Trabzon. And Abdul Karim and Barsh and Urjan played the full 90 plus. They did not come. Well, no, the Barsh came out, didn't he? Barsh came out late.
Which came out.
But Abdul Karim did not. He's back there playing like a boss, and so did Barsh. My man, he played good. All right. Thanks for watching. If you like it, give us a thumbs up. Tell us in the comments, do you think we're going to go to our first World Cup in 24 years? 24 years? There's kids that were born that year, Sir Kong. They're out of college and working, maybe married with kids since we've been to a World Cup.
Yeah, you never know.
My son is 19. He's never seen Turkey play in a World Cup. And my 15-year-old daughter hasn't either. Your children have not. Maybe they can all see it. Wouldn't that be a blessing? Mashallah, mashallah, mashallah.
That will be.
That would be. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Hadi, Turkiye. Hadi.